Hey, it's Lowry Smith of the Commanders here with opening. Ordered some cards from Cardkingdom. A bunch of foils are going to be in here. Lowbrow. I don't think I got anything too expensive. Um, but it's kind of fun filling out the collection foils along with getting stuff for the decks. I got this from Card Kingdom. What I do is a couple times a year is I just go through my trading binder collection boxes really from Card Sphere, and then I try and just kind of unload a bunch of cards that are harder to trade, and then I find stuff on Card Kingdom, and it just makes it kind of a fair, easy trade. So about 100 cards, I think. I'll try and go through it pretty quick. Belt of Giant Strength, that was like a buck or two, but getting base power of a 10/10 for an equipment. Accursed Dune Yard, regenerating shade, skeletons, specters, spirits, vampires, wraiths, and zombies on a land is pretty good. So that's about $2. I'm hoping either it becomes relevant to me or I picked up a couple. Nope, just one. I thought I would have gotten a few. So I have at least two or three of these at this point. But generally, this kind of thing is pretty solid on a land. Pima Trailblazer. So definitely no foils in this one, but just probably getting Aether Drift cards that have gone down and stuff like that at this point. I know this one, there's going to be foils. Just getting more energy. I think energy is fun, but just not much for it at this point. There we go. Renewed solidarity. I'm glad I got two extras of those. Dope. So, token doublers are really cool. This is a delayed trigger rather than a replacement effect. And if you watch me doing um my new deck tech, or I guess building probably in a week or two, I can explain it a bit more. Territorial Aether Kite, just dragon comes down and deals damage. Pretty cool. Hisoka's Guard. Um, Basically, as long as it remains tapped, target creature you control other than Hisoka's Guard can't be the target of spells or abilities. So, giving a creature shroud, and you can do it kind of at any point. It is 2 mana, but it's a cheap foil. Fiend Lash, this is pretty cool. If it's dealt damage, it deals damage equal to its power to target player. Gonna be putting this on some poison creatures in my Calamax deck. Desertion, just trying to get a foil version of it. This is the Commander's Arsenal, which was something incredibly hard to get. I mean, really, it's only like $3 on CK. So, um, thought that was kind of a fun way to do it. See the Truth, also nice little foil. It's basically a sorcery speed, but you get to do cool stuff from the graveyard for getting cards in your hand. Wash Out, I didn't have a foil of this. And this is old school card that I used to love a lot more. It's a little tougher for me to play it, but I just wanted to wash out a foil version of it. Convert to Slime, just one of those from the commander decks, getting you tokens. Ursine Monstrosity. What's this one doing? At the beginning of combat on your turn, these are just cheap commander cards. I don't know how much I need to go and do it. Seance Board, that one was cool. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, put a soul counter on it and tap to add mana of any one color where X is the number of soul counters on it. Spend this mana only to cast instant sorcery, demon, and spirit spells. So if a creature died this turn, so it's kind of like an interesting way to get mana in your spell slinging decks. So it's I think it's interesting. Oh, Rite of the Dragon Caller. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 dragon. That is 10-ish bucks, but full art foil, alt art, that looking pretty. Draneth Stinger. Cycle a card, deals 1 damage to each opponent. I like that effect. Sigarda, host of herons and a foil. That's again another old school one that's really good. Not sure how good it is these days, but it's big against those Eldrazi. Kerbis, you're able to remove like a 1/1 counter from it to prevent damage to another creature. Um and so I just wanted a few more of those. I think that's really good, like just protection. I think I have one. One more is probably enough. Kira, getting those death triggers on the green spirit dragon. I just like these. I don't know if it's gonna be something that I use much. Thieving Skydiver, I was real hype on this when this came out, but I didn't have any foils of it. I had a full art, but not a foil. Uh, Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. This was like a $15 card when it came out, and I got rid of it real quick. Now that it's rotated, it's like 2, $3. Got a promo version of it. Probably well worth it. Aegis of the Legion. I've just been looking at that clue set from last year a lot more and trying to pick up the cheaper ones. Some of the legends got real expensive real quick, so kind of avoid that, but they've been fun. So another clue card, but I do like these legends. These ones that stayed mostly under $5. But it's a food version, creates tokens for you. And I've been making more food decks. Like I got Treebeard, Yigra there, and then the new Ball. I've been thinking about kind of turning food as well. So if I get rid of one of my other food decks, it'll probably turn into a food deck. It's kind of cool. Sludge Titan, another one of those clue cards that just hopefully getting them cheap. Same thing with Stampede Surfer. There, uh, Samula. I like Myriad, right? So I'll probably keep on playing that. Tribute of Rot. Whenever it attacks, mill 2 cards. So just anything that randomly mills you is something that I kind of pick up a bit. Fires of Mount Doom. When it ETBs, it deals 2 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Destroy all equipment attached to that player. Then you can pay 3, exile the top card of your library. You may play this with this turn. When you play the card this way, Fires of Mount Doom deals 2 damage to each player, including yourself. But gonna put this in Zerta because it's just 1 red to activate that. That's gonna be sweet. Wavebreak Hippocamp, just looking for a foil of that one. Not gonna use it currently. Cyber Conversion. This was an expensive card when it came out, so I felt like a foil for 2, $3 was not a bad deal. Inventory Management, another expensive one that's gone down quite a bit. The foil's very pretty. And I'm going to try and fit that into Captain America. And then Merfolk Wind Robber. This is, I like in Rafine, I have a bunch of flyers that can sacrifice to have some sort of effect like this, counter spells, draw cards. And so I just wanted a foil version of it. On to the next package. We have pretty happy with a bunch of those. They're all cards that either I plan on playing or wanted an upgrade on in the collection. And it's just, like I said, a good way to get some credit for what you got going on. If you're buying a bunch of cards and got a bunch of stuff laying around. Shifting Sky, another one of those that are just kind of like cool cards that I wanted a foil of, but it enchantment that changes all permanents to the chosen color, non-land. Psychic Impetus, just one of those goading enchantments that'll scry you too. Wanted a foil version of it. Lofty Denial, counterspell, better when you have flyers. Founding the Third Path, casting stuff for free from your hand is not a bad deal, even though it's not really free. But I don't know what to do with this one, I'll admit, but it's kind of cool. Master of Ethereum, they're putting a lot of, especially with Brothers War, they were doing a lot of artifact creatures, colorless creatures, all that stuff kind of mattered. And so I felt like getting a foil that gave them all +1/+1 and worked within that synergy. I'll probably eventually be building a deck like it. So, of one mind, draw 2 cards for 1 blue in any deck is pretty awesome, honestly. A Mist of Stagnation. This one kind of shot up a lot when Umbris came out, like an exiling deck, but it's gone down a bit. This is maybe $5. Old foils look gorgeous as well. But permanents don't untap their controllers untap steps at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player untaps a permanent for each card in his or her graveyard. So if you're exiling the graveyard, they don't get to untap their stuff. It's going to be sweet. Soulblade Djinn, it's basically giving all your creatures prowess for 5 mana Djinn. Planar Genesis, instant speed that puts cards in your hand and puts stuff into the lands into play. Goes in Calmax. Got a couple of them. This is an old foil as well. That's probably not a good card. But red mana, sack a land. Mana Vein deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. 3 mana enchantment. Just thought it was interesting. Uh, Pedantic Learning. Whenever a land goes into your yard from your library, you may pay 1 if you do draw a card. It's an interesting card. Again, pretty cheap foil. Go with it. Serendib Sorcerer taps to give target creature, make it an O2. So dope. Planar Overlay. Each player chooses a land he or she controls of each basic type. Return those lands to those owner's hands. So 3 mana sorcery that returns a bunch of land to the hand is cool. Oath of Jace. I just didn't have a foil of it. So draw 3, discard 2 effect when you have planeswalkers. Paradoxical Outcome. Another one I didn't have a foil of, but return stuff, draw cards. Retrofitter Foundry. I have this in Zerta. Wanted a big upgrade. This is the only foil version of it at this point, and it's like 10-ish bucks as a judge promo. Omen of the Sea, just looking for a foil version of it. Pretty cool. Stinging Lionfish. Whenever you cast your first spell during an opponent's turn, untap something. Non-land, but pretty cool. Overwhelming Apprentice. Mills card. Scries you 2. Like the foil version of it. Aura Flux. Each enchantment gains during your upkeep, pay 2 or sacrifice this enchantment. It's great enchantment hate in a blue deck. Sphinx of Lost Truths. Draw 3, discard 3 if it's not kicked, and if it is kicked, you just get to draw 3 cards. Pretty cool card. I've liked this one for a long time. Never played it, but I feel like that zombie deck Hash Tama it would really like it. Just that kind of thing. Sunken Hope. Everybody's returning stuff to their hands during upkeep, and just wanted a foil version of it. Traveler's Cloak. This one's awesome. Aura that gives a creature landwalk ability, and it draws a card when it comes into play. If I buy more than one, dope. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous old foils there. Vodilian Merchant. 1/2 Merfolk. When an ETB is drawn, discard a card. Same thing. Beautiful. There we go. And I love these. There's like a whole 1, 2, and 4 cycle of this. Rishidan the footpad, but 2/2 when it ETBs, each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless he or she pays 2. I ran this in my Essex deck and copied it like a bunch of times, and people quit because they had to sacrifice their land. It was brutal, and I loved it. Took the deck apart pretty quick after that, though. Unified Will counterspell if you have the most creature. Web of Inertia. Pretty happy with this foil as well. But at the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, that player may remove a card in his or her graveyard from the game. If they doesn't, they can't attack you this turn. So beautiful. Great numbers as well. Another energy card. And then Doctors you control get +1/+1. If one or more artifacts would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token is created instead. Making more tokens when you're making tokens is generally pretty good. Steam Core Scholar, it just draw 2, discard 2 when it comes into play. And Rite of Replication, old school card that I've never had a foil of. Glad to get an upgrade on it with Foundations printing. And then the token. Hey, if you enjoyed, check out the Commander Smith's podcast on our YouTube channel. Subscribe there, please. Like this if you enjoyed it. And then also, we just do a bunch of stuff. So check out audio. You can find us anywhere. And we've been going forever. Me and my cousin do a podcast. All right. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.